Here's the truth. First impressions matter a lot. So much, in fact, if you don't do the 5 things I'm gonna tell you to do in this video, you may run the risk of getting ghosted and never seeing her again. And as somebody who has been on a lot of successful first dates, these are things that I follow to the absolute T. All right, to start off, let's talk about the things you should prep before you actually go out on the date. And of course, we gotta talk about the fit, bro. The outfit. Have you ever gotten that text, how should I dress? And then you just send her back, oh, casual or whatever you feel is best. Like, no, bro, you have to give her a clear, defined answer. And what I always say is smart casual. Smart casual is not super casual, but more so something in between, like a semi-formal to like a casual, like something nice, like literally what I'm wearing right now. A nice casual button down, maybe some dark jeans, or even some slacks, right? Now what you guys need to actually do is not only tell her what to wear or the style of what you're wearing, but also prepare your own outfit and make sure everything looks nice and crisp. I'm talking about obviously clean clothes, getting those wrinkles out. And me, myself, I never iron. This is literally anti-wrinkle spray. You just spray the clothes, either put it in the dryer or wring it out, and bam, no wrinkles. I've been doing this for years. This Downy wrinkle releaser, nothing crazy, right? So you don't even have to iron your clothes. And then when it comes to shoes, this might be debatable, but you wanna get something that gives you a little bit of height, right? This can be like boots. This can be even sneakers like Air Force Ones. They tend to have a bigger inch. But we are not wearing running shoes to a date, guys, especially if you guys are wearing like casual outfits. Like, take off the New Balances, bro. Take off the Skechers and put on some actual nice casual shoes. Basically, the goal here when it comes to first date preparation is to make ourselves even more attractive in person. You want the woman to look at you and be like, yo, is this, you know, if you met her online, is this the same dude that I matched with? Like, you look twice as much better in person. And that's gonna make that first impression more so even lasting. I can't tell you how many girls I met to where it's been on both sides, right? The girl was less attractive than what she actually presented herself to be. And for that reason, the first date just started off immediately horrible. Like, I was already checked out. But also I had those times where I was quite surprised of how attractive the girl was in person versus to how she presented herself in pictures. And a lot of it was actually because of her body. You know, some of these girls don't present their body to be the most flattering online, but when you see them in person, you know, they got curves, they got shape, they got a little bit of sex appeal, they know how to dress, and overall it just makes the experience that much better. So I'm telling you, actually take some time in preparation in terms of what you're gonna wear. Also, I find that dark colors tend to work better, especially if it's like a night date. So even if it's just like a fitted black t-shirt, accessorized with some jewelry, a watch, bracelet, necklace, and all that stuff, and you're immediately gonna look a lot better. Now let's talk about smelling good, right? You always wanna make sure you have a great fragrance before you go out on that first date. And here's a pro tip, you wanna spray it as you're leaving the door. Don't like get ready, spray it, then wait like 40 minutes. No, as you're leaving the door, or if you're commuting somewhere, even take it and keep it in your car. Now with first date fragrances, I recommend something not too powerful or too strong. Also something that doesn't lean heavily masculine. I found that unisex fragrances honestly tend to work best, or even light, subtle fragrances. So this is one of my favorite first date ones, and this is Dolce & Gabbana The One. It smells a little sweet, a bit of vanilla, but also masculine at the same time. Love this fragrance. And when you go in for that hug, when you break that touch pair on the first date, what you want is honestly, oh, you smell so good compliment. That compliment in itself can actually make the date go a whole lot better. So make sure you smell a nice, a good fragrance. And of course, there's plenty you can choose from. Check out the Patreon. I'm actually gonna do a full breakdown of my fragrance collection here soon. All right, let's talk about mouth hygiene now. This is super important. Do not skip this, because one time I went out on a date with a woman who was really attractive, but as we were talking, I noticed this fishy odor coming from her mouth. And after that, I literally had to slowly back myself away, create some distance. I ended the date early and I never saw her again. And this happened like a handful of times, right? I have no idea why people don't actually take into account their mouth hygiene before going to speak to somebody who is this close to you for a few hours. Like, at the least, at the absolute least, you need to brush your teeth, but I think you should even do more than that. And I'm gonna break it down. So up first, we need to brush our teeth, electric toothbrush, preferably 2 minutes all around. After that, you wanna get a tongue scraper, like a literal tongue scraper, guys. You guys don't know, a lot of odor and bacteria actually falls on the tongue, and that's what's creating that bad breath. And then if you're feeling real bougie, you can also floss in between the teeth a little bit, but at the minimum, definitely use mouthwash after that. Like, it's honestly that simple. That's all you have to do. Brush your teeth, scrape your tongue, use some floss, and use some mouthwash. That is a full routine that will guarantee you to not have bad breath by the time you go out on the date. And then also, if you keep a pack of gum, then that's gonna be even better. Chew some gum as you're on the way to the date. Now, in terms of grooming, what I like to do is I always make sure that I have a clean, fresh lineup and that I dye my beard. I talked about beard dye multiple times on this channel over the past few years, but it's something that really enhances your overall look. And once again, we're trying to present ourselves to be the more attractive version of ourselves than what they initially saw us from. And so I'll trim my beard. Right now I'm doing like a 4mm all around. And then I'll take the beard dye, Just for Men beard dye, leave it on for a few minutes, boom, I'm good to go, rinse it off, and now I have a more enhanced facial appearance. And also I line up my hair. I got these clippers trimmers. I just literally go over my hairline, line it up so that I look sharp and I look put together. Basically just maintaining that grooming up until the date, or even waiting until the day of the date before you do all this, so that way you look your best. Now, super important is the fact that you need to have a clean space. And that's because sometimes dates go fairly well. Sometimes, you know, you'll be out and she'll actually come back over to your place. And yes, I've had times where I did not expect the woman to come back to my place, and my place was absolutely not prepared at all. So what I now always do is make sure that my place is spotless, is clean. Clean the sinks, scrub those toilets. Some of you guys right now, go to your bathroom. You literally have a ring around your toilet, bro. Clean the toilet out. I know you barely do it once a month, but clean the bathroom, sweep, vacuum. Just overall make sure your place is tidy and neat, because you never know what could happen. And also, if you're going out on a lot of dates, this really keeps you accountable on actually making sure that your place is always presentable. Also, what I like to have to do is have talking pieces kind of already out. So for me, for example, I keep a Rubik's Cube on my coffee table. And the reason is because sure, it makes for a good decorative piece, but also it's a talking piece, something that can ignite a conversation, something that I can kind of showcase my skills for doing. Because yes, I am a nerd. I know how to solve a Rubik's Cube. And so almost every time, if she does come back to my place, as we're talking on the living room couch, she's gonna be like, oh, you can solve a Rubik's Cube? Or, oh, let me see you do it. Now, obviously, a lot of you guys probably aren't gonna have a Rubik's Cube, but it can be pretty much any decorative item that can start a conversation. Now, also, you wanna make sure that your place smells amazing. And what I like to do is I take a bit of the fragrance here and I just spray my couch like 3 times, and I spray my bed like 3 times too. That way, the smell sort of lingers. You walk in after not having smelled your place in a while, and you just kind of get masked with like a masculine sort of scent, and it lasts, I would say, like 6 hours. If you don't feel like wasting your cologne, then you don't have to do that. You can instead get like the Glade plugins, plug them in the wall. Now, this is super underrated, but you need to review her information. How many times have you gone out on a date and you don't even know the girl's name? Oh, just me? Okay, maybe it's just me. But what I like to do is I go back to her either dating app profile, her Instagram, her number, whatever it may be. I make sure that I know her name. And then when I see her, I greet her by her name with a hug, right? Making it more personable and showing that I actually know her name. And then also I kind of review the things that we talked about so that maybe I can bring up in conversation later, or I see where she's coming from. You know, I just overall do some background research just a little bit to really know the person who I'm going out with. And last thing you need to do with planning is that you need to plan by the hour. This is probably the most important thing I'm going to say in this whole video. You need to pre-plan the date by the hour. Ideally, we want to go to multiple locations. Ideally, we do want to maybe bring her back to a place if the date goes well, right? And so with that being said, you need to make sure that you have a plan for the hour and that you know the area and environment that you're going to. So you can either look on Google Maps, kind of look at the area where you're going to if you've never been there, see kind of what's around there, right? This also goes into the aspect of leadership. As a man, you're going to be leading the date the whole entire time. You're not gonna be focused on her to kind of tell you where to go next. Like if you stay in one place, the woman will talk to you in that area for the next 4 hours if it was up to her. But for you, I like to separate things by the hour. So maybe the first hour, we go to this spot. Second hour, we're gonna walk here. Third hour, we're gonna talk in this area for 30 minutes. And then after that, I'm gonna ask her to come back because it's getting late or whatever. So if you start doing more logistical planning and then actually through the date itself, start leading it more because you already planned, then you're gonna have a lot better dates. And then last thing, guys, is that you need to have something that brings her back to your place if that's something you want to do. So for me, I like to keep wine on handy just in case. I'm not a drinker myself, but you need an excuse to go back to your place. So hey, let's go get some wine at my place, or if you're comfortable, you know, we can go get some wine and finish this conversation at my place. I live nearby. It could be food. You got something quick you can make because you guys are hungry. It could be card games. It could be pretty much anything. It could be even your dog. Like if you have a pet and you bring that up in conversation, oh, want to go meet my pet, right? You need to have a reason for her to come back to your place. You can't be like, oh, you just want to come out of my place and talk. No, there has to be a reason there. And if you have that planned in the environment already, it's going to make it that much more better. Like I said, for me, it is wine. Do all these things before you go out on a first date, and I promise you, you're going to start having a lot better first dates. All right, subscribe, like. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.